Okay, so get this. There's this guy, right? He was making like $7 an hour at a pizza place. And now, boom, 6 figures, all thanks to his website.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of story that comes out of Income School. It's the platform we're going to be diving into today.
That's good.
We'll unpack, like, who's behind it, what they actually teach, and why it's like making waves in the whole online world.
Right.
Ready to maybe get a little inspired.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those stories that resonates, I think, with a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a real kind of hunger out there for, like, financial independence.
Mm-hmm.
And Income School seems to tap into that.
Yeah, totally. So let's meet, like, the masterminds, the brains behind it all.
Yeah.
Jim Harmer and Ricky Kessler. And what's interesting? They've been friends since high school.
Wow.
That's a long partnership.
Yeah.
Jim, he'd already built some successful websites and even wrote this book, Work Energy, like all about productivity and, entrepreneurship and all that.
What's really cool is that while Jim brings that like technical and creative side, Ricky's MBA background actually plays a huge role in their approach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he understands like the business side, analyzing markets, building a solid financial model. It's not just about websites.
Gotcha.
It's about building an actual business that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. So they've got this like powerhouse combo of skills,
Yeah.
And together they turned Income School into, get this, a 6-figure per month business.
Wow.
That's serious cash.
Yeah.
So let's break it down, like what Income School really is. What are they teaching people?
At its core, it's about niche websites, profitable ones.
Okay.
They teach you like everything from setting up the site to creating content that ranks high on those search engines.
Yeah.
And of course, they focus on making money,
Right,
affiliate marketing.
Right.
So, earning a commission by recommending products or services on your website.
Gotcha. So it's creating content, getting the audience, connecting them with stuff that fits their interests. Makes sense, but I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, right? Like, how do you pick the right niche?
That's where their flagship program comes in, Project 24.
Yeah.
It's pretty ambitious. They claim to guide you to a full-time income within 24 months.
Whoa.
Now, whether everyone hits that's debatable. But the program itself is super comprehensive. They've got courses on like everything, blogging, SEO, even creating those like engaging YouTube videos.
Right. I've heard they're big on that step-by-step approach. Is that part of what makes them so popular?
Definitely. It makes it like less scary.
Yeah.
Especially if you're just starting out.
Right.
They don't just throw you in the deep end, break everything down into like manageable steps. Makes it feel doable. But they don't just cater to like newbies either.
Okay, cool.
They've got more like advanced strategies for those who are, more experienced and want to kind of take their business up a notch.
Yeah. So it's like they've built this whole world where you can start from scratch and just keep growing as you learn.
Exactly.
That's cool. But let's zoom out a little, talk about their reach, where they're making the biggest impact.
Well, their online presence is huge. Website, YouTube channel, community forums, it's buzzing. The YouTube channel alone has like current number of subscribers. Mm-hmm. And they give away a ton of free content there. Videos on everything, internet marketing, content creation, you name it.
Wow, that's a lot of free value, huh? It's like they're not afraid to share.
No, and that's different, I think, from a lot of those like online educators.
Yeah.
It shows they're confident in what they offer and they genuinely want to help people. But it's not just about the numbers, it's the community they've built.
Right.
Thousands of Project 24 members, like all over the world.
Wow.
And a lot of them have actually built their own successful websites, making a living online, which is amazing.
It's like a global network, people learning together, achieving their dreams. That's inspiring. Okay, so we know Income School is a big deal now, but I'm kind of curious about their journey, how they got started,
Well, they registered the Income School domain back in like 2013, but, it wasn't an overnight success story.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They had a hard time gaining traction initially.
Yeah.
And the website was slow to grow.
It's interesting to hear that even successful online businesses, they have those humble beginnings.
Oh, yeah.
So what was like their turning point?
Launching Project 24 in 2015, that was a game changer.
Oh.
It seems like the structured program, it clicked with people and boom, their growth took off.
Like they found the right formula at the right time, but the online world moves so fast, right?
Yeah.
How have they managed to stay relevant all these years?
They're adaptable, constantly updating their content, their strategies. to keep up with the trends.
Yeah.
It's crucial in this like ever-changing landscape. It's not a set it and forget it business. They're always working, improving, making sure their students get the latest info.
Okay, yeah, that's impressive. But now I'm curious, why do you think Income School has clicked with so many people? What's their secret sauce?
Honestly, I think it's their transparency.
Okay.
Jim and Ricky, they don't pretend to have all the answers. They openly share their wins and losses, which builds trust, They seem like real people, not just some guru selling a dream.
Yeah. It's refreshing, in a world full of hype and all that. It makes them relatable.
Exactly. And they go deeper, breaking down complex stuff into doable steps. It doesn't feel overwhelming for people. They don't just talk about online marketing. They give you the tools to do it.
Okay, I'm seeing a pattern here. They're practical, transparent, and they're all about action. That's powerful. But there's one more thing that stands out to me, their community, the emphasis on that. What role does that play in their success?
It's huge. They've built this strong community through their forums, online interactions, It's not just about absorbing info. It's about connecting with people like you, sharing experiences, asking questions, supporting each other.
So it's like having this built-in support system for your online business journey. That can make a world of difference.
Oh, absolutely. It's about creating a space where people feel encouraged, empowered to go after their goals.
So to sum it up, 2 down-to-earth guys share their knowledge openly, teach practical skills, and foster a strong community. It's no wonder Income School has resonated with so many people.
It's a winning combo.
Yeah.
And I think their success reflects something bigger, a trend,
Yeah.
More and more people are looking for alternatives,
Yeah.
More control over their finances, their futures.
Yeah.
The traditional 9 to 5, it's not cutting it for everyone anymore. And online business, it opens up a world of possibilities.
It's about being your own boss, setting your own hours, the freedom to work from anywhere.
Exactly. And Income School gives you a framework for that in a way that feels achievable,
Right.
They demystify it,
Right.
empower you to take control.
It's like they're giving people the tools to create their own opportunities, which is like gold in today's world. But it's not just about the money, is it?
No.
There's that sense of fulfillment too, right?
Restless thing.
From building something yourself.
It's about creating something you're passionate about and sharing it with everyone.
That reminds me of what we talked about earlier, the whole niche thing,
Yeah.
finding one you're passionate about.
Right.
Sounds simple, but I imagine it can be tough to actually do. Any advice for, our listeners who are trying to figure out where to start?
It's a journey, exploration, self-discovery. One thing I suggest, think about your hobbies, your interests. What are you drawn to? What do you find yourself reading about, researching, in your free time?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Those are usually good signs. And don't be afraid to think outside the box. A niche doesn't have to be super specific.
Right.
It could be something broad, like travel, cooking, or even personal finance. The key is finding an angle within that, something that resonates with you,
Okay.
something you can see yourself creating content about, for a long time.
It's that sweet spot again, right? Where your passion meets what people actually need.
Exactly. And once you've got a potential niche, do some digging. See if there's an audience for it. Are people looking for info on that topic? Are there websites, businesses, already serving that market?
So making sure there's actually a demand for what you're offering.
Exactly. But don't get discouraged if there's competition. Okay?
Okay.
It can actually be a good sign.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it means there's a market there. The key is to differentiate yourself. Offer something unique, something valuable that makes you stand out.
So finding your own angle, your voice within that niche.
Exactly. And that's where your passion and expertise come in. If you're genuinely excited about it and have something valuable to share, it'll show, it'll attract people.
It's about being authentic, letting your passion fuel your work.
Exactly. And remember, this takes time, building a successful online business.
Right.
Don't expect overnight miracles. Be patient, consistent. Focus on quality content that helps your audience.
It's about playing the long game.
Precisely. Don't be afraid to experiment, try new things. The online world's always changing, so stay adaptable, open to new ideas.
Embrace the journey, be willing to learn, to grow.
Exactly. And most importantly, have fun. Building an online business should be enjoyable.
Right.
If you're not passionate about it, it'll show.
It's about finding that spark,
Yeah.
Letting it fuel your creativity, your drive.
Well said. This has been such an insightful deep dive into Income School.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot, their beginnings, their impact, their strategies, the criticisms too.
It's a fascinating story, and I think it offers like valuable lessons for anyone thinking about jumping into the online business world. Absolutely. I hope our listeners feel inspired, empowered to explore the possibilities for themselves. Who knows? Maybe someday we'll be featuring their success story right here.
That'd be awesome.
There's so much potential out there, and it's exciting to see what people create when they have the tools and the courage to chase their dreams.
Well said.
Well, thanks for joining me on this deep dive. It's been a pleasure.
The pleasure's all mine.
To our listeners, keep learning, keep growing, keep creating, and until next time, happy diving.
Happy diving. Well, they mainly make an impact online, but they do have some like offline stuff too. They've been featured in like big publications, Forbes, Business Insider.
Oh, wow.
Gives them credibility, exposes them to a wider audience.
Yeah, so they're getting recognized by like those established media outlets. That says a lot. But, I'm also kind of curious about their impact on the communities where they live and work.
That's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
They're based in like a small town in Idaho.
Yeah.
And they've created this ripple effect there.
Oh, cool.
They hired local people to help run the business. And their success has inspired others to like start their own things in the area.
That's awesome. They're not just talking about it, they're living it, creating those opportunities for others. It's like proving that you can build a thriving business from like anywhere, even a small town.
Exactly. It challenges that whole idea that you got to be in a big city to make it online. They're living proof that with the right skills and mindset, you can create your own success on your terms from wherever you are.
That's so inspiring. It gives me hope for like all those small town dreamers out there.
Yeah.
But let's shift gears a bit, We've been focusing on the positive side of Income School, and I think it's important to like acknowledge that there are also some criticisms, challenges they face.
Yeah, you're right. No approach is perfect, and Income School's definitely had its share of critiques.
So what are some of the concerns people have raised?
One of the big ones is like market saturation, the potential for it.
Yeah.
As more and more people build these niche websites based on their teachings, it gets more competitive, to rank high in search results, get an audience. It's like any industry. The more players, the tougher the game.
Makes sense. If everyone's using the same playbook, it's harder to stand out. How does Income School address that?
They emphasize the importance of picking a niche that's not just profitable, but something you're truly passionate about.
Okay.
The idea is if you're really into it, you'll create better content that connects, sets you apart.
So it's not just following a formula, it's about finding that like sweet spot, your passion, and what the market needs.
Exactly. Passion is a powerful driver. It shows in your work. If you're excited about what you're writing, creating, your audience will feel that.
It's like that saying, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
But I imagine there are other challenges too, right? Like not everyone who joins Project 24 hits that full-time income within 24 months.
Right, and that's another criticism. That 24-month time frame, it can be misleading for some. Building a successful online business, it takes time, effort, a willingness to learn and adapt. There's no like overnight guarantee.
It's like anything entrepreneurial, right?
Yeah.
It takes dedication, consistency, a bit of grit.
Exactly. Income School does acknowledge this, but it's crucial to like go in with realistic expectations. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a path that requires work. Patience.
Right. It's about building something sustainable, not just chasing quick wins. But for those who are willing to put in the effort, the rewards can be significant.
Absolutely. And there are tons of success stories to prove it. Countless people have used Income School's teachings to build these thriving online businesses, some even exceeding that 24-month goal.
That's what I like to hear. It shows it's not just a pipe dream, it's something achievable. It makes me wonder, what are some of the common things, among those who have found success with Income School?
That's a good question. Let's see. From what I've seen, the most successful Income School students, they tend to have a few things in common. They're not like afraid of hard work.
Right.
They're persistent even when things get tough, and they're willing to like adapt, learn as they go.
So it's not just about following the program like step by step. It's about taking charge of your own journey.
Yeah, exactly. The program, it gives you the like framework, the guidance, but it's up to you to put in the work, make it your own. It's like, having a map and a compass, but you still got to navigate the actual terrain.
That makes sense. But let's like zoom out again. How does Income School fit into the bigger picture of, online business entrepreneurship?
I think they represent this like growing trend of people wanting different career paths, more control over their finances, their future.
Right.
The traditional 9 to 5, it's not for everyone anymore. In online business, it's like a whole world of possibilities opens up.
It's being your own boss, setting your own hours, having the freedom to work from like anywhere.
Precisely. And Income School, they give you a way to do that feels like achievable, sustainable. They break it down to empower you to take control.
It's like they're giving people the tools to create their own opportunities, which is huge, in today's economy. But it's not just the money, is it?
No.
There's a sense of like fulfillment that comes with building something yourself.
Absolutely. It's creating something you care about and sharing it with the world. It's having a voice, making an impact.
That reminds me of what we were talking about before, the niche thing.
Yeah.
Finding one you're passionate about. Sounds easy, but I bet it's harder than it seems. Any advice for like our listeners who are trying to, figure out where to start?
It's definitely a process. It takes exploration. One thing I always recommend is think about your hobbies, your interests, what you're already good at, what comes naturally to you. Right. What do you find yourself reading about, researching, when you have free time?
Okay. Yeah, those are good clues.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to think outside the box. A niche, it doesn't have to be super specific or obscure.
Right.
It could be something broad like travel, cooking, personal finance even. The key is to find that angle, within that broader topic that clicks with you, that you can see yourself creating content about for years to come.
It's that sweet spot, right? Passion meets market need.
Exactly. And once you've got a potential niche, do some research. See if there's an audience for it. Are people searching for info on that? Are there websites, businesses already doing that?
Making sure there's a demand for what you're offering.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But don't get discouraged if there's competition, okay? It can actually be a good thing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it means there's a market there.
Yeah.
The key is to stand out, offer something unique, something that sets you apart.
Find your own angle, your voice within that niche.
Precisely. And that's where your passion, your expertise, they really matter. If you're genuinely into it and have something to share, it'll show.
It's about being authentic, letting your passion fuel your work.
Exactly. And remember, building a successful business online, it takes time, effort. Don't expect to get rich quick. Be patient, be consistent, and focus on creating great content that actually helps people.
It's about the long game.
Precisely. And don't be afraid to try new things. The online world, it's constantly changing, so stay flexible, open to new ideas.
It's about the journey, right?
Yeah.
Being willing to learn and grow as you go.
Exactly. And most importantly, have fun. This should be something you enjoy. If you're not passionate about it, it'll show.
It's about finding that spark, letting it fuel your creativity.
Well said. This has been such an insightful deep dive into Income School.
Yeah, it has.
We've covered so much, their beginnings, their impact, their strategies, the criticisms too.
It's a fascinating story, and I think there's some really valuable lessons here for anyone thinking about starting an online business.
Absolutely, and I hope our listeners feel inspired, empowered to explore those possibilities themselves. Who knows, maybe one day we'll be featuring their success story right here on the show.
That would be amazing. There's so much potential out there. It's really exciting to see what people create when they have the tools and the courage to chase their dreams. Well, thanks for joining me on this deep dive. It's been a pleasure, as always.
The pleasure was all mine.
And to our listeners, keep learning, keep growing, keep creating, and until next time, happy diving.